So we saw in the first 13-minute clip that Octavia has her own plans in mind for her brother.
I missed it. I missed what she had.
So when she,
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes, tell me more.
So can you just talk a little bit about, like, in the next week's episode, can you tease a little bit about how it's not going to be smooth sailing for them?
No, it's definitely not going to be smooth sailing for them. I think that, they both want to save their friends, and when I say friends, Kane, Sinclair, and Lincoln, but they are going to approach it in different ways. I think that Bellamy has to try and earn the trust back from Octavia, and whether that actually happens and happens in time, we'll have to wait and see whether that works out. But I understand her putting him to sleep. Yeah, even though Paul Marie couldn't carry me that day. But yeah, she's a warrior though. She can do it.
What was it like working with Michael Beach and developing the relationship between Bellamy and
Pike? Look, Michael Beach is a fantastic actor, and he's such a great guy and an awesome presence to have on set. It was funny. There were days where Ian and Henry and Mike would be battling each other and trying to convince me who to go with and X, Y, and Z. But the beauty about that, it created discussion between us, and I could see it from both sides, and having Mike there and him being so invested in the story, it was really important to him to show Pike not just as the bad guy, but also to express his valid reasons and why he's doing that. So having him on board definitely made the transition for Bellamy, or for me playing Bellamy, a lot easier. I'm really grateful that he was there and it was played by Beach, because I learnt a lot from him and learned how to have fun as well on set.
Is it more fun to play Bellamy when he has strong conflicts with others?
Yeah, absolutely. I also like that Bellamy can have these really two polar kind of opposite ends of the spectrum, with the loyalty to the 48 that are left and Clark and Octavia, and also have a strong drive and resentment towards the Grounders. I think that the beautiful thing with Bellamy is that he can end up being stoic and quite laconic about it and being quiet about it. And then it's those moments where there is those silences and that he doesn't get to act on the way he feels. They're the bits that I really love playing. It's that kind of murky area of what is right and wrong. And I think this show highlights that a lot, even though I know a lot of people just think Bellamy's dead wrong. I've spent so much time inside the guy's head, so I can see where he's coming from and why he's torn. So that's really, I think, a tremendous thing to be able to play.
Was it fun for you to see the reaction to all of Bellamy's actions this season?
I don't know if fun is necessarily the correct term. It's definitely it's interesting to watch and see. And I feel like it's been pretty split. There are some people who are like, he's doing this because he's hurting and trying to understand, which is great. I think when you have to engage the audience to a point where they have to try and understand and explain it, it shows that they're actively watching, which is really cool. And there's others that just want to, have hated him for a long time, and feel that he's getting what he deserves. But in terms of fun, I don't know if it's fun, but it's definitely an interesting kind of cross-section of how people react.
Looking at a character like Pike, and the thing we keep hearing is he's not necessarily a bad guy. Do you think there is a line in the 100 where someone is just a bad guy? Do you think that exists in this world?
Well, in terms of where they came from, where you couldn't have more than one kid, and if you did, you were floated, or any kind of petty crime over the age of 18, and that's it. If you come from a world like that, where life is pretty expendable, you'd have to do something really, really bad to be a bad guy. I think there are times where Bellamy was selfish. In this show, I think if you act selfishly, then that's what makes you bad. If you're doing it for the greater good, then usually you can be forgiven. It just depends on what people see as the greater good, whether Kane and Mike have different views on that. But I feel like it's when someone's being selfish and a bit opportunistic for themselves, that's when you can see them as being bad people. if they're just chasing power for the wrong reasons. As in the clip that they did show, and I did see this bit on Tari coming in. You could easily go, she's bad, but it's a matter of perspective.
Will we see Clark and Bellamy work together again?
I hope so. Yeah. Look, they work really well together. I think that because of the Lexus situation, what happened there, and I tried to explain it before, but they worked really well in unison, and it was that breaking of loyalty that they had. Bellamy had always had Clark's back, and this is one of the times where he said to her, I need you to back me on this, and she didn't. She ended up trusting Lexa. So now that story has moved forward, and Bellamy will learn about it, there's possibly the opening for them to join forces again, but that's yet to be seen.